John Bower.
Good evening, Council. Nice to see you again. I would first like to thank the Council for allowing me to speak on behalf of the students at NAU tonight. Though I have mentioned many a times that I speak for more than them. I stand here in defense of civil liberties, including our rights to assemble in due process, but by no means should this be construed as me defending my right to party. This ordinance overreaches a multitude of constitutional rights and unfairly streamlines punishment by removing the right to face your accuser or present evidence in your favor. If this council wishes to uphold this ordinance tonight, fine. You will be responsible for the lawsuit that will inevitably be brought against the city of Flagstaff once the police manage to overstep in a few more instances. I will tell you the lawyers I have spoken to are waiting for the student who is willing to challenge their fine at each level of court procedure. Each student is fully aware of their rights and fully aware of the resources available to them on campus. While this ordinance will more than likely not change tonight, I can guarantee you it will in the future. This process, while inviting to students, has been slanted from the get-go. Our voices were unheard before, and by your demands, this process has been dumbed down to an insultingly low level. I have been clear with our discontent, and we will remain adamant in our demands regardless of this outcome. I find it funny that the members of this council sound so inviting to student participation in local affairs. Yet my requests to meet with each of you have gone unanswered. What's more, the facade that was the nuisance party forum with Chief Treadway was actually a successful harvest of our talking points and ideas only for the purpose of refuting every one of our talking points to further politicize the necessity of the vague and overreaching ordinance of this mess. What's more, the chief himself has expressed that this ordinance gives his officers sharper teeth. He didn't use this in the presentation to you, but in the meeting with us. In combating student gatherings, he has literally admitted to minding the FLA's face that his officers can now approach any group of 5 much easier than before. If you want to allow the police of this town to have increased power to stop and harass groups of young people on the street, so be it. Council, we have respectfully made our demands and followed the procedure you laid out for us. To reiterate our demands, the students would appreciate the following changes be made. Raise the number of people that constitutes a nuisance party from 5 to 15 people. Lower the probationary period back to a 90-day probationary period. Eliminate the increased fines for illicit activities to prevent the city from having to fight an appeal it will lose. And finally, allow the rules of evidence to be applicable in cases involving nuisance party citations to ensure the true integrity of the officer's testimony. Now, the students appreciate the fact that the ordinance is an alternative to disorderly conduct. Based on the stats that Ms. Mary Ann Sullivan provided, Flagstaff PD is on track to surpass the amount of disorderly conduct citations it handed out last year, more than likely due to their sharp new teeth. What's more, while this ordinance was originally written to be able to hold property owners liable, 0 of the 113 or 120 so citations have been issued to property owners. We do not appreciate the lack of seriousness given to us, and we will not allow this to happen in the future. I reluctantly invited my fellow students tonight because deep down I know that none of you actually care about our problems. Too often are you concerned with your campaigns that you lose sight on how reasonable and respectful we have been, and tonight it is up to you whether or not you wish to listen to reason. 5 is too low of a number when you are talking about disorderly groups of people. To be able to tell a business to keep its customers in check for 120 days to avoid another ticket is abusive. $1,000 and $2,000 fines are excessive and cruel, especially when they are being imposed on people who can only afford ramen noodles to eat.
Red light. I got to
red light?
To stop.
All right. Well, this ordinance has put us in jeopardy to be abused, and we ask you to keep us safe. Thank you.
All right.